Welcome to Rewiring Health, your hub for transformation and empowerment. I'm your host, Kelly Kessler, and I'm here to guide you in aligning with your true self. Discover the freedom and vibrancy within you as we release patterns of self-abandonment and transcend the health impacts of stress. Get ready to unlock your potential and embrace the freedom and vitality you've been seeking. Now let's dive in. Every single moment and every single day, you are faced with a choice. You can either listen to critics or you can listen to courage. In this episode, I'm going to share 3 sources where you may experience a critic in your life, and I'm going to give you ways to anchor into yourself and really know the courage that you have within you to choose yourself in each moment. My name is Kelly Kessler, and I help you transform your life from patterns of self-abandonment to embracing self-loyalty. Now, there are 3 main sources of critics that you may be experiencing in your life. One is from outside sources, so things that other people say. And so this is a big one because you may be hearing so many things about what other people's opinions or judgments are about something you're choosing. And so if you're maybe on a healing journey or you're on a growth journey or some kind of self-expansion journey, there's always going to be somebody who's got something to say about it. They're going to be critical of it. They're going to have a voice that may come into your head and try to pull you back into the version that you used to be. So it may come these overt ways where they have these judgments about you, or it can be much more covert where they slip in these subtleties that make you feel a certain way and kind of chip away and erode your own essence of yourself. I'm sure you've had that experience in your life where you've had somebody say something or someone has tried to make you feel a certain way. And what's important to understand about the criticism that you receive from others is that it's not a reflection of your truth, it's a reflection of their truth. You're getting a glimpse of their inner world. When they want to send judgments onto you, or they want to criticize you for something, or they're triggered by something within you, that's not about you. That's about something they're experiencing within themselves. And that's more of a clue for themselves to heal something within them. There's a wound within them that's somehow being triggered by your growth, your expansion, your journey. And so when you receive the criticism and judgments from others, you may feel that propensity to take it personally and allow it to really sink in. And it can really be damaging. But when you realize that when others are being judgmental and critical, that is not actually about you. It's very much about the other person and what's going on in their inner world. You can realize that it's not really a personal attack. It's just an exposure of what they're dealing with within themselves. And so this is really freeing for you to understand that their judgments are not your truth. Their judgments are their own truth. And think about somebody in your life who really loves you, that has a compassionate, sensitive aspect to them, that has really done their own inner work. That is not someone who's going to put judgments on you. That is not someone who's going to try to tear you down, nitpick you, use your vulnerabilities against you. People who are filled with love and peace don't do that. The people who are filled with love and peace and have gone through their own journey of healing are uplifting and trying to help you along that journey with them. And so if you're experiencing criticism from somebody else, just know that's not about you, but your growth may be triggering something in them. Oftentimes when you're growing and you're expanding, others try to pull you back down because it's exposing something in them that maybe they haven't done the work for yet. So expect some of that criticism, but know it's not your energy to hold on to. Release it back to them. That's their own energy to heal and to deal with. It's not your burden to take on. Number 2, the criticism you give yourself. So we all have that inner voice, that dialogue that's saying you're not enough, you're not doing enough, that wasn't good enough, you got to change this needs to be modified for you to be worthy of more in your life. We all have that inner critic. Some speak louder than others. And so that inner critic is really just your ego trying to protect you. It's trying to keep you, quote, safe. But safety in that context is staying small, staying in the familiar, staying in what's comfortable, and staying in a place that you've known. Because the ego loves predictability. And so if you are staying in the same routines and thought processes and belief systems that you've always had, then tomorrow is predictable. You know how tomorrow is going to be. It's going to be the same as today and the same as it was maybe 5 years ago. And the ego thrives on that because it wants to keep you small and safe. And it doesn't want to expand outside of what it knows already because that's scary. And that's really part of that survival mechanism that the ego plays a role in. And so if you're experiencing self-criticism, it's not that you have to resist it because you don't want to do that either, because whatever you resist persists. But what you want to do in that moment is acknowledge it, see it for what it is, and say, I see what you're trying to do. I know you're just trying to keep me safe, but this is how I'm choosing to live my life. And I'm going to let you have a seat, but it's going to be in the back seat. You're not driving the car of my life. And allow that criticism to be present because it's going to be there. It's not possible to eradicate that completely, but acknowledge it, see it for what it is, know that it's only just trying to keep you safe, and choose courage anyway. And number three, the criticism is going to be what's happened in your past. So anything that you've experienced in your past, your mind is going to automatically think it's going to happen again. So it's going to say, well, remember that last time you did that? This is what happened. And so why don't you just avoid putting yourself out of your comfort zone because it didn't go well and maybe it felt really overwhelming. So let's just keep you back in this. And this is just really a continuation of what's going on with the ego, but your past plays a huge role in determining your future if you don't recognize how limiting it can be. So the criticism that you're giving yourself from past experiences is something again to recognize and know that your future is not determined by the past if you don't allow it to be. You can choose a different future from this moment on. Next year can be tremendously different from what this year has been for you if you recognize some of the patterns that you're holding on to and start to release them and start to choose that more of evolved, expanded, loving version of yourself and allow your mind to go in that direction. The thing is if we focus on where we don't want to go, it's inevitable that we're just going to go in that direction because our mind goes into the direction that we focus on. So if we start to cultivate focus on where we actually want to go, who we want to become, and what that version looks like, that's when we can release the past and really cultivate that future version of ourselves. So the three areas that you're going to experience criticism is from outside sources, from within you, and from past experiences trying to dictate what your future experiences are. Now, how do you anchor into yourself? Because it's inevitable. You're going to experience some criticism and judgment outside of you and inside of you. And there's no way to avoid that. Someone's always going to have something to say, and your mind's always going to have something to say to you. So, a big part to anchor into yourself and experience the true essence of yourself is to know your worth, to know what you are worthy of. And again, self-worth is not something that we try to find. It's not something that we try to build up. It's something that's always within us. But we have to release all the junk that's told us that it's not there, that's covered up what that truly is. And so self-worth is when you uncover who you truly are, that at your core, you are pure love, you're pure expansion and growth. And you start to realize what you are worthy of, that there's so much more that you have within you and that you have to give others. And when you realize that, you stop accepting the crumbs. You start saying yes to yourself and you start saying no to anything that's out of alignment with that. And that's when you start to really anchor into yourself. Some relationships may dissolve or disintegrate in that process. Some careers may be left behind, and some other things that no longer served you will be left in the past because you're realizing that you're worthy of more and you have a higher standard for yourself. And that is really when you start to not acknowledge the criticism as much and you start to anchor into what you know you're worthy of. That if somebody has something to say and they pass their judgments onto you, that you can say, okay, I see what you're doing. I see what you're trying to do. You're trying to tear me down, but I know myself at the core and I know who I am. I know my truth. And I see what you're trying to do, that by you trying to tear me down is trying to build yourself up based off of that energy. And that's not an energy that I accept in my life anymore. And that all comes from worth, realizing that you are worthy of so much more in your life and having that willingness to choose that day in and day out and no longer accept anything that does not align with that. The second way to anchor into yourself is knowing your intention. So the intention is the energy behind your choices. So when you know that you intend to feel expansive, you intend to love others, you intend to help others and serve others, and that's your intention, then you know that is the energy behind everything you do. So if other people receive your actions, your behaviors, or your opinions or beliefs in the way that their perceptions are, then that is their prerogative to do that. But you know the intention and energy behind that. And you know the reason why you're choosing what you're choosing. Because even if other people don't understand your decisions, what your choices are, that's okay. As long as you understand your choices, your decisions, your beliefs, and you're anchoring into your own truth and essence, and you're choosing a life that feels aligned with you, then other people can misunderstand you. Number 3 is knowing your why. Why are you choosing what you're choosing in your life? So we all have motives for why we're choosing what we're choosing. And if your motive is to choose peace in your life, then that is what anchors you into what you do and what you choose to believe in and the courage that you show up with every day. That no matter what anyone has to say or the voices that are within your head, if the why behind everything you say, do, and believe is to protect your peace, then you know your why. You can anchor into your why. And you can release the criticism and anchor into the courage that it may be hard to advocate for yourself. It may be hard to stand up for yourself. It may be hard to have conflicts, but the why is to protect your own peace, and that is always worth it. And so when you have a strong why in how you conduct yourself in life, then that is a true anchor that you can hold on to and come back home to. And so even if the critics are there outside and inside of you, when you have a strong sense of worth, when you have a strong understanding of your intentions, when you have a strong why behind every action and belief and behavior that you engage in, then you are able to anchor into your own essence. You're able to come back home to yourself. It's like having a strong foundation in a building. No matter what hits it, if it's a hurricane or a windstorm or anything, it may shake you, it may rattle you, it may jar you. But at the end of the day, it's going to hold you in when you anchor into your beliefs within yourself, when you anchor into your worth, your intention, and your why. That the outside environment can have its impact on you, but it's not going to shake you at your core because you're so anchored in to the knowing of who you are and your essence and what you're here to do. Your soul's journey is here, and you are honoring that. And if other people misunderstand that, then so be it. That's not for them to understand. We all have our own path. And if it's in alignment with you and you can protect your peace in the process of that, then that is truly where that courage comes into. So every day you have a choice. You can choose to listen to the critics. You can choose to take that in and allow it to be absorbed into your system and hold on to that energy. Or you can choose to anchor into yourself. Hold on to the courage of knowing who you are and choosing yourself and saying yes to yourself and yes to your peace each and every day. I hope that helps to navigate your life with more peace, more flow, and more expansion. If this resonated with you and you want to dive into some of your belief systems and how you can really anchor into your own essence, I invite you to hop on a discovery call with me where you can gain more understanding and clarity of what the driving forces are behind staying in a pattern of self-abandonment and start embracing self-loyalty today. Thanks for being here. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode. If there was something in this episode that really resonated with you or a message that stuck with you, please share it with someone else. It's only through sharing these messages that we can start to rewire our minds to feel empowered and live the life that we truly desire. Please subscribe so you never miss an episode. And again, thank you so much for tuning in to Rewiring Health.